Welcome to the Tai Chi Moving for Better Balance Evaluation Forms training. My name is Erin Lacerte. I'm with the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, and I will be your state survey coordinator. The purpose of the project evaluation is to collect data on attendance. We are looking for the number of people in the class and how many classes those people attended. We're also looking for demographic information, and we would like to determine if we are reaching the population. We are also collecting data on the physical assessment known as the timed up and go or tug test. And we are using this information to see how the participants progress and to be able to provide each participant with feedback on how they are doing. We are also collecting data on how the program works. We want to know how the participants heard about the class, what are their goals, if they were possibly referred from their doctor, and if they would recommend this class to others. We are also looking for their health status, physical activity level, confidence, activity restrictions, and emotional health to all improve. The forms that we will be collecting are the Tai Chi attendance log completed by the class leader throughout the class, the participant entry form completed by class participants at the first class, the participant exit form completed by class participants at the last class, and the timed up and go log completed by the class leader at the first and last class. An optional form that you can complete is the TUG personal record, which is completed by the class leader at the first and last class and is given back to the participant to show their progress in the class. Participants may decide that they don't want to be a part of the study and they can refuse to complete the surveys. They can leave some questions blank, and they may also refuse to share their TUG times. If they do decide to participate in the study, all their information is kept completely confidential. The forms are all stored in locked files here at the Department of Public Health. The forms that are sent to CDC have the names removed. They're actually assigned ID numbers, and their phone numbers are also removed. And information is not reported for an individual. This is a brief overview of the program that instructors are welcome to use to describe the data collection to the participants to give them an idea of what we're using the data for and how their information will be kept confidential. This form will be kept on the Older Adult Falls Coalition website, as well as all the other forms that I will show you, and I will demonstrate how to get to that at the end of the presentation. Here we have the Tai Chi Moving for Better Balance attendance log. At the top of the form, you'll see all the class information. The implementation site, start date, end date, and class time will all be filled out by the class leader. The site ID will be assigned by the state survey coordinator, so you can leave that part blank. And then we have spaces for each of the participants' names and phone numbers. Phone numbers can be used for class leaders to get in touch with the participants. In the attendance section, you can check mark in a box if the participant is present and mark an A in the box if the participant is absent. And in the notes column, you can use that to describe any reasons why the participants may have extended absences or have missed a few days. At the bottom of the form, you'll see that there's spaces for the leader name and phone numbers. And if you would mark in the box when the leader is present, and if the leader has a sub, the sub can initial in that box. Here is the participant entry form. You can see at the top there's a space for the date, which will normally be the first day of class, the name, and how they heard about the program. There's also a space to find out if they were referred from their doctor's office, and a couple questions about their general health and demographics. The second page of the participant entry form has a couple of pre-post test questions that will also show up on the exit form. You can see at the bottom of the second page and at the bottom of the first page that there is a space for the participant ID. That is a space that I will also be filling out as the state survey coordinator, and we will use that to link the participants to their TUG times and attendance. This is the participant exit form, again with a space for the date and name, and some general health questions, as well as the pre-post questions from the entry form, so that we will be able to match those up. There are a couple extra questions at the bottom asking if they feel that the program will help to keep them from falling, if they have talked to their doctor about the program, and also if they will recommend this class to a family member or friend. And again, at the bottom of the exit form, there is another space for the participant ID, which will be completed by the state survey coordinator. The timed up and go test is a functional assessment used to measure progress throughout the program. Here's a video on how to perform the timed up and go test.
The timed up and go, or TUG, tests functional mobility. To perform the test, you need a chair and a stopwatch, or a wristwatch with a second hand. Have your patient start by sitting on the chair, feet flat on the floor, one foot slightly in front of the other and hands on the armrests of the chair. Put a line on the floor 10 feet or 3 meters away. Ask your patient to stand up from the chair and walk at her normal pace to the line on the floor when you say go. When she reaches the line, she should turn around, walk back to the chair, and sit down. Be sure to start timing on the signal go, and even if your patient has not started to move, and stop timing at the moment she sits back down in the chair. While she's walking, stand between the chair and the line in case the patient loses her balance and you need to assist. Observe and note the patient's posture, width of the base of support, step height, stride length, arm swing, and path. When the test is complete, record the time. Also record whether the patient used an assistive device, and if so, what type. A community-dwelling older adult who takes more than 12 seconds to complete the tug is at increased risk of falling.
The evaluation forms associated with the tug test are the tug leader protocol. So this protocol will be available on the Older Adult Falls website as well. And this is just to give you the guidelines of how to lay out the tug test and how to perform it. It says that you can demonstrate the tug if needed, to record the participant times on the tug log, and also gives you a lot of safety tips to help keep your participants safe. There's also the tug script, which will help you to tell the participants about what the tug is all about. And we have the tug log, which will be collected by the health department. You can see in the top it has an area for the class information. The class ID will be filled out by the state survey coordinator. The rest of the information in this box will be filled in by the class leaders, including the chair seat height and whether or not it's in an armchair. The name and ID should be in the same order as on the attendance log. The state survey coordinator will complete the participant ID section. There is a space to record the tug time, administer leader or therapist, and the last session tug time, as well as the administer or leader therapist for that one as well. Please record the tug time, including tenths of a second. In the comments section, you can use this area to note anything with the participant, if they have an abnormal stride, if they're using an assisted device, if they experience vertigo or anything like that. This is a great place to record all of those types of things. And here's the optional form, the tug personal record. So this is something that you can go through and fill out for your participants at the first and last class, and you can show them the time that they have improved, or if they have stayed the same, or even if they have slowed down a bit. It is important to let the participants know that it is not bad to slow down or stay the same, and that a speed of less than 12 seconds means that you are at a lower risk for falling. The most updated version of all of these forms will be kept on the Older Adult Falls website at www.olderadultfallscoalitionco.com. I can show you where to find those on the website. So this is the Older Adult Falls Coalition website, and the most up-to-date forms for the Tai Chi Moving for Better Balance class will be on this tab, Tai Chi. And we will just scroll down until we can find all the links for all the forms we talked about today. So an overview on how to administer the forms. For the class leaders, you just want to make sure that you have all the correct forms for the class. Write the participant and leader names on the attendance log. Explain the reason for data collection and the protection of their information. Distribute the participant entry forms and then collect the completed forms. Do a quick review for clarity and completeness. Take an attendance for the first class, and explain, conduct, and record the tug scores on the tug log. You can do all these things in the first class, or you can have what's called a zero session, and you can ask the participants to come in before the first class and let them know that it will be a day that you guys will not be practicing Tai Chi. They will just be filling out forms and conducting the assessments. After the first class, you will submit all of the forms to the state survey coordinator, and that includes the attendance log, the tug log, and the participant entry forms. We ask that you do that within 48 hours after the first class. And once the state survey coordinator receives those, I will go through and check over the forms. If I have any questions, I will contact you. I will take all the names off of the forms and insert the IDs, and send in the forms to the CDC Evaluation Center. And then those forms will remain in the health department in a locked cabinet. At the last class, you'll provide the participant exit forms to the participants, collect the completed participant exit forms, review for clarity and completeness, conduct and record the TUG scores on the TUG log, and if you decide to do so, you can provide the TUG personal record. Once you have sent those to me, I will review and check over the returned forms. I will clarify any questions I have with the leaders, take the names off, assign the IDs, and send the forms to the CDC Evaluation Center. And again, I will store those in a locked cabinet here at the health department. After the first class and after the last class, you can send your completed forms to the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment by email, fax, or mail. And here's all the contact information that you will need to be able to do any of those. And if throughout the process at any time, if you have any questions, you can call me at my phone number at the bottom. Thank you for all the work that you do in preventing falls for older adults and for participating in our program.